All right, let's dive right in. We've got a huge match coming up, Delhi Capitals versus the Gujarat Titans. And if you're like me, a fantasy manager, you know what that means. It's time to build that winning team. So let's break down exactly how you can use the data to get that all-important edge.
So, here's the million-dollar question, right? You've got tons of stats, a whole list of amazing players, but how do you actually turn all that information into a lineup that's going to crush your league? Well, you're in the right place. That is exactly what we're going to unpack right now. Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the matchup itself, then we'll break down the lineups. After that, we dive into the stats that really matter, find those key players you just have to have, and then, the best part, we'll put it all together to build the winning team. All right, first things first, let's set the scene. You really got to understand how these two teams play. It's the key to figuring out how the match is going to go and, most importantly, where all those juicy fantasy points are hiding. So in one corner, you've got the Delhi Capitals. These guys are all about explosive, aggressive batting from the word go. And in the other corner, you have the Gujarat Titans, a really well-balanced team with a seriously dangerous bowling attack, especially at the end of an innings. It's that classic matchup, right? Pure batting power against incredible bowling skill. And for us, that's the perfect fantasy battleground. Okay, so we get the big picture. The next piece of the puzzle? Figuring out who's actually going to be playing. This is where we start building our player list.
I mean, you can't pick anyone if you don't know who's available, right? That's where the probable playing 11 comes into play. It's basically the best prediction of the 11 players from each side that will be on the field. For all intents and purposes, this is your player pool. These are the guys you get to choose from.
So this is what that pool looks like, broken down by role. You've got your hard-hitting openers, explosive middle order guys, the all-rounders who can change the game, and of course the specialist bowlers. The bottom line is, your final team, every single player, has to come from this list of 22. Okay, let's get into the dude stuff. This is where we really start to gain an advantage. We know who's playing, now it's time to use the numbers to find those truly elite, high-performance picks.
Look, when it comes to batsmen, forget just looking at total runs. In this short format, strike rate is everything. It's all about how fast a player scores. A really high strike rate? That means they're hitting boundaries, scoring quickly, and racking up those bonus fantasy points like crazy. And this chart really paints a picture, doesn't it? I mean, look, you've got a player with a solid strike rate, clearly better than the league average. That's great. But then you see a player from DC with a strike rate of 155. That's not just great, that's absolutely elite. A number like that screams match winner and tells you this is a player you seriously need to consider.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about the bowlers. Yeah, wickets are awesome. We all love them. But you can't ignore the economy rate. That's how many runs a bowler gives away per over. A super low economy rate, that's your ticket to steady, reliable points. It shows a bowler is in complete control.
And this table shows you exactly what I mean. You take a bowler from GT who's a wicket-taking machine. I mean, look at those numbers from his last few games. He's a huge impact player. But then you look at a guy from DC, and his economy rate is just world-class. He might not take as many wickets, but he's guaranteed to save your runs and bag you points that way. See? Both are incredibly valuable, just in totally different ways. So, now we've got the stats. The most important job is next. Using that data to pinpoint the absolute studs, the core players who are going to be the backbone of our fantasy team.
So what makes a key player? Well, it's not just about having a big name. You need a checklist. First, are they a consistent high scorer? Do they deliver big points week in, week out? Second, what's their role? Is it a critical one, like an opening batter or a death bowler? Third, you got to check their recent form. Are they playing well right now? And finally, how do they stack up against this particular opponent? If a player checks all these boxes, they shoot right to the top of your list.
This quote just nails it. A top all-arounder is basically a cheat code for fantasy. Think about it. They contribute with the bat, and they contribute with the ball. You're getting 2 shots at scoring points from a single player slot. That's why they're so valuable. They're reliable, and their potential for a massive score is just through the roof.
Okay, it's time to bring it all home. We've done the research, we've analyzed the stats. Now for the final, most important step, actually building the team.
And here's a super simple 3-step plan to do it. Step 1, pick your captain and vice-captain. These have to be your most reliable, key players because they're getting you those huge bonus points. Step 2, build out your core. Fill the next 4 or 5 spots with those other high-potential players we found using the stats. And finally, Step 3, find your secret weapon. Pick 1 or 2 differential players that not many people will have. If they go off, you'll get a massive edge.
And at the end of the day, this is the goal. You want a team that's perfectly balanced. You need that solid foundation of reliable stars. That's your high floor. They won't let you down. But you also need a couple of those high-risk, high-reward players. That's your high ceiling. The players who can single-handedly win you the whole thing. It really is the perfect mix.
So there you have it. You've got the framework, you've got the data-driven strategy. We've gone from the big picture matchup all the way down to a step-by-step plan. Now, the ball is in your court. After everything we've looked at, who's your first pick?